Life really is too short. I mean, it's also very long, but the reality is that you can get on a plane and immediately combust, which is pretty intense, especially to say it like that. But that is the truth. The truth is that life is very fleeting. You can be here one moment and not the next moment. And we can't live in constant fear of that reality, but we need to be aware that that reality is real and true and can occur. And you want to try to live your life in the best way that you possibly can, that aligns with your morals, your ethics, and you are pursuing a life that is in honor of your fullest potential, that doesn't hinder your freedom or the freedom of others. And so what does that really look like for you to really live freely, to really live fully, to really inhabit an existence that is truly honoring of the things that you love? Like, do you do what you love doing, or have you sacrificed that? And if you have, like, what are those reasons? What is it that's preventing you from doing the things that you love doing, that is preventing you from experiencing the pursuit of the things that you're most drawn toward? And is it money? Are you afraid that if you go toward the thing that you really love doing, that you're not going to make enough money, you're going to fail yourself? Are you afraid of failing? So many people are afraid of failure, and they're also afraid of succeeding. They're afraid that if they were to succeed in what it is that they were on a mission to complete, then that they would have to maintain that. And just the experience of maintaining what it is that you have succeeded to getting to is fear. People fear that, because then you actually have to upkeep what it is that wherever you've gotten. And so people fear that experience as well. So then they don't even do anything. And then, so many people are afraid of failing even after succeeding at something. And instead of actually even doing it, they just end up spending all this time imagining, what if I actually were to do it one day? Oh, I'll do it one day. Or it just feels safer to just not do it, and have this idea that potentially one day I'll do the thing. And then ultimately the life that you live becomes the life of you not doing the thing that you've wanted to do your whole life. Because there's like certain windows of opportunity of time to do certain things. Some things you can't do forever. And so if you're constantly thinking, oh, I'm going to do this thing, or I feel really drawn to this thing, but I'm afraid that if I do it, I'm going to fail at it, so then I'm just not even going to try. And then ultimately that truly does become the life that you live. You not doing it is a form of failure. So you're just disappointing yourself by not doing the things that you really want to do. And ultimately, it's something I think about often is like, why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we have this we imagine what it could be, what something could look like if you are writing a book, or you're wanting to open a business, or you're wanting to make an album, or you want to move somewhere, you want to go travel the world. And like, these are all things that you imagine happening, you can see yourself doing, but then you don't actually take the steps to do the thing. So then it just always perpetually stays in this state of something that you eventually maybe will do, but then maybe it's so accessible that you like are constantly holding this like state of disappointment in yourself for not pursuing the thing that you ultimately want to do. And so the life that you're living is full of this perpetual disappointment in yourself for not pursuing what it is that you want to pursue, while at the same time the imagined whatever it is, like the experience of what it could be, feels more safe and comfortable than actually experiencing what it actually will be like. So maybe you're fearful of actually experiencing whatever it is that you wish you could do, but the actual experience of imagining it feels more comfortable than actually experiencing it. So while at the same time you have every intention of eventually getting to that point, but you are constantly disappointing yourself for not pursuing the things you need to do, like doing the things you need to do in order to get to that thing. But at the same time, underlining it all, you're just stuck in this state of this comfortable, familiar space of letting it be whatever it could be in your mind, rather than manifesting it and making it real. It's just a this figment of this imagined experience of what it could be. It's like the same thing of like whenever people like you know how sometimes people don't want to say goodbye to people. They would just rather, end the relationship by not communicating, not talking, like maybe not necessarily, but potentially, like you can like ghost somebody, not actually like have a conversation that like speaks to the ending of the relationship, like when you both are no longer like connecting, like you just don't feel a connection with this person anymore. You've both evolved and have grown beyond each other, and the relationship has changed. But instead of actually communicating that, you go kind of your separate ways. You just you just imagine maybe coming back to them at one point, or you have a teacher or a mentor, or like a friend, anyone that you've known over your lifetime that you didn't actually like say goodbye to, or even really mean to have ended the relationship anyway. But there's always like this experience along life where you think of that person and you imagine that you could technically like have another conversation with them. You could have a last moment with them. And that ability to imagine what it could actually be like is more comfortable than just saying to somebody, hey, this relationship's over, or like I've gone in my own direction, my own way, and we no longer vibe. And you could say it in the best kind of way, but ultimately, like we aren't for one another anymore. We are no longer going down the same path. We've grown beyond each other, and we're going our separate ways. But instead of having that conversation, you could just always leave this imagined potential, possible experience on the table as something you could experience. And we do the same thing with like starting a business, or like writing a book, or all the things that like we imagine that we could possibly do, like, and we may think that we actually may do the thing that we want to do. We may think that like we actually will do it. Like maybe like you have every intention of writing this book, but you keep putting it off for the future, and eventually you will have not written it. And the reality is that like you are self-sabotaging yourself. You are disappointing yourself regularly, especially if you intended to work on it every single day this whole entire past year, and you haven't yet. There's something happening where the act of this idea of what it could be versus what it actually would be if you did it something about that in and of itself is very powerful to the psyche. It's like when you can imagine how it will go versus how it actually will go, you have more control over the way it actually is in your mind. But the reality is that you could write the book and then write another one and have an actual experience of what that book was like in the world. And instead, you have every intention of writing the book, and you disappoint yourself for not writing it along the way, and you never actually experience what it's like for the book to be finished. You just sit with the when it is finished imagined version in your brain, and unfortunately, it's like self-sabotage, because like you're consistently living with the feeling of disappointing yourself on a regular basis for not pursuing the thing that you ultimately want to pursue. So it's really unfortunate. But there's something about that, like it's like why do we choose not to finish things? Because we can imagine what it would be like to complete it, and if we actually finish it, then we actually know how it was completed, or we know the resolution to it. Like without having a completed version of it, we can always hypothesize what it would have been like. So it's pretty interesting how humans do that. A lot of people, avoid grief, avoid having to grieve the absence of something or the ending of something. There's something about experiencing a perpetual state of endlessness of something. And if you were to imagine something for a long period of time, it's like the experience of imagining it feels endless and can be to some extent, but then at some point, like you have lost the opportunity, the window has closed, you no longer can pursue the thing that you have been imagining pursuing for so long in your life, and ultimately that becomes the actual experience that you end up experiencing. The one where you didn't do the thing that you wanted to do. You didn't do it, you just thought about doing it your whole life. And that's it. And you don't have another opportunity to do it. You only can do it right now or in a specific window of your existence. You don't have forever to do things. And so if you think you do, that is just false. Everything that you want to do has a specific time frame of how long you can even do it. So, though at the same time, you can do a lot of things when you're older, but you shouldn't rely on the fact that one day you're going to do it at some later point in time. You don't know. You have this life is long but also short, and you also have no idea when you will exit this existence. At any point in given time, you can actually leave the world. You're only you're here right now, but you may not be later. I mean, later today, later at some point. This might be your last day on Earth. You have no idea. So you should really be pursuing the things that you want to pursue, and know that the fear of failing also it prevents, and when it prevents you from doing things that you ultimately want to do, what about the ultimate failure of not doing the thing that you wanted to do to begin with? What about what about that? If you're not doing the thing that you really want to be doing because you're afraid of the outcome of it, what about the outcome of never doing it ever? It's so much worse. It could be so much worse. I mean, because eventually the imagined version of the way that it could have gone in your mind that you were thinking this whole time, that felt so comfortable to sit with this imagined version of how it could go, and how you're always holding it as something that you could experience one day in the way that you're imagining experiencing it. Eventually, if you never even do it, that imagined version also just disintegrates and goes nowhere. You don't ever get to experience it ever, because you didn't pursue it, you didn't do it. That ends up becoming the actual experience of whatever it is that you were wanting to do, is the experience of not having done it. And the imagined version just disintegrates. It never even had the opportunity to even come close to what it was that you could have pursued, because you didn't even try. You were too afraid. And what about the fact that, like, the reality is that anything that doesn't work out opens space for what will. Anything that doesn't work out is data points for how to do it better. So whatever you end up doing, like, learn from it. Learn how to reconfigure it. You can always take whatever it is that you experience from any experience and utilize it for anything else moving forward. It's better to have tried. Literally, I know everyone says this, but literally it's true. Better to have tried than to not have tried at all. Truly. Like, it's so much worse when you don't even give yourself the opportunity to experience it, and it's completely self-sabotage. And nothing's worse than living in your life in this constant state of disappointment for not having pursued the things that you really wanted to pursue because you were afraid to, or you kept putting it off for later. But, why is it that, like, you're doing all these other things that are so important to you, but then you're also not doing the thing that's, like, the most important to you? Like, the thing that you really want to do, why are you not doing it? Why are you not doing the things that you need to do in order to complete the thing that's absolutely the most important thing to you? Why are you putting yourself and your most important project to the side? Why does everything else, completely everything else, come first before prioritizing your most important project in your life? I feel like that is self-sabotage. This feeling of disappointing yourself over and over and over every single day for not pursuing the thing that you're ultimately wanting to pursue is just like something underlining in that. There's something like, why are you doing this? There's a reason for this. Like, where is that self-sabotage coming from? Because you don't deserve that. You deserve to be honored and valued and prioritized. This is your life, and you must show up for yourself and make boundaries, create boundaries in your life that makes sure that you prioritize the things that you need to do in order to do the things that are important to you, while also caring and about all of the other things that are important as well, but creating boundaries in such a way that allows you to actually execute them properly. Yeah. So that's my TED Talk.